For centuries, human beings have looked up at the night sky in wonder, pondering the mysteries of the stars. One star, in particular, has captured our collective imagination: Betelgeuse. This colossal red supergiant in the constellation Orion is a celestial gem, a star that has burned brightly for millions of years. But it is not just its brightness that draws us in. No, Betelgeuse holds a secret, a fate that all stars face: the inevitability of death. This star, at the very end of its life, will soon explode in a spectacular fashion. And the question that's been plaguing scientists, astronomers, and curious stargazers alike: what if Betelgeuse exploded right now? What if, this very moment, we witnessed the death throes of this ancient star? The explosion would be one of the most powerful, awe-inspiring events in the universe. But beyond the fireworks of light and energy, what would it mean for us on Earth? To understand the significance of Betelgeuse's explosion, we need to first appreciate the life of this star. Betelgeuse is a red supergiant, one of the most massive and luminous types of stars in the cosmos. It is a stellar behemoth, 10 to 20 times the mass of our Sun, yet it is much older, having burned through its fuel far more quickly than our star. Betelgeuse has been alive for around 10 million years, which, in the life of a star, is relatively short. It has consumed much of its hydrogen, and now it's running on heavier elements, like helium and carbon. At its core, Betelgeuse is a star in turmoil. The pressure from nuclear fusion in its core is fighting against the force of gravity, but it can't last forever. The core begins to collapse, unable to hold itself up against the immense weight of its outer layers. With its core shrinking and heating up, Betelgeuse begins to pulse. Its outer layers expand even more, and this massive star begins to show signs of instability. Eventually, it will reach a critical point where gravity takes over, and a dramatic chain reaction begins. Let's take a moment to imagine what it would be like if Betelgeuse exploded right now. Picture the night sky, a sky filled with millions of stars. Suddenly, one of them begins to shine brighter than anything we have ever seen. Betelgeuse, in its final moments, would flare up in a colossal burst of energy. The explosion would not only be visible to the naked eye, but would rival the brightness of the full moon, or perhaps even surpass it. For a brief period, the explosion would turn night into day. Imagine this. During the day, you would be able to see the explosion with the naked eye, this immense burst of light, brighter than any star, filling the sky. The explosion would burn for weeks or even months, and during that time, the star would be visible, even at noon, casting an ethereal glow across the Earth. The sheer scale of Betelgeuse's final burst would overwhelm even the most seasoned astronomer. It would be the most spectacular cosmic event in living memory. From Earth, the brilliance would be so intense that you would witness the star's death in real time, watching as the sky lights up with the brightest, most violent celestial fireworks imaginable. But what about the consequences? While the light would be blinding, the shockwaves of Betelgeuse's death are not nearly as catastrophic as they might seem. A supernova is a release of unimaginable amounts of energy. But, fortunately, Betelgeuse is about 642 light-years away from Earth. This distance shields us from the immediate threat of radiation, even though the shockwave itself would travel outward at nearly the speed of light. By the time the shockwave reaches Earth, it would have spread out over hundreds of light-years. Our atmosphere would absorb much of the harmful radiation, protecting us from the high-energy particles and gamma rays that would be unleashed. While we might experience a slight increase in cosmic radiation, it would have little to no lasting impact on life here on Earth. However, the supernova would still have some consequences here on Earth. Satellites in orbit around our planet might experience electrical malfunctions due to ionization in the atmosphere. Our GPS systems could become unreliable for a short time, and some communication satellites may struggle to maintain a stable connection. But even these effects would be temporary, and humanity would quickly adapt. Once the explosion has subsided, Betelgeuse will no longer exist in the form that we've come to know. The core of the star will either become a neutron star, an incredibly dense, compact remnant, or, if it's massive enough, it could collapse into a black hole, a region of space where gravity is so intense that nothing, not even light, can escape. The outer layers of Betelgeuse, its gases and heavier elements, will be expelled into space. These expelled elements will be the building blocks of future stars, planets, and potentially life. This process of stellar death and rebirth is one of the most important mechanisms in the universe. The explosion will scatter carbon, oxygen, iron, and other elements into the interstellar medium, enriching the galaxy with the raw ingredients needed for the creation of new celestial bodies. The death of Betelgeuse, like the death of all stars, is part of the cycle of cosmic evolution. The elements forged in the cores of stars like Betelgeuse will be incorporated into new stars, new planets, and perhaps even life, continuing the cycle of creation and destruction in the universe. And this is where the true significance of Betelgeuse's death lies. It's not just about the spectacle of a dying star lighting up the sky. It's about understanding the fundamental processes that govern the universe. The explosion of Betelgeuse is a reminder that all stars, no matter how brilliant, will eventually meet their end. Even our sun, which has supported life on Earth for billions of years, will one day go through a similar process. But when that time comes, humanity will be long gone. Perhaps by our own hand, perhaps not. What's more important is how this cosmic cycle shapes our understanding of existence. Betelgeuse's death isn't just a fleeting event. It's part of a greater narrative, one that stretches back billions of years and will continue for billions more. We are but a tiny speck in the vast expanse of the cosmos, yet we are linked to these stars by the very elements that make up our bodies. The carbon in our DNA, the oxygen we breathe, the iron in our blood. These elements were forged in the hearts of stars like Betelgeuse. In a very real sense, we are all made of stardust. So what if Betelgeuse exploded right now? It would be a spectacular, once-in-a-lifetime event, a brilliant flash of light, a reminder of the immense power of the cosmos. But beyond the flash, beyond the beauty of the explosion, lies a deeper truth, that the universe is constantly changing. Stars are born, live, and die, and in their death, they give birth to new stars and new worlds. We are part of that cycle, however small we may be. And every moment we spend looking up at the stars is a reminder that we are, in fact, a part of something far greater than ourselves. So, when we gaze at Betelgeuse tonight, let us remember that this distant star holds the keys to the future of the cosmos. Its death, like all deaths in the universe, is not an end but a beginning. And that, in the grand story of the universe, is the most beautiful thing of all.